Another goon runs in to warn them that Batman and Robin are approaching. The tweed-wearing villain shoves the amnesia-stricken individual against a dresser and promptly lays a trap for them outside by getting more of the cactus plants to attack them once they get into range. But there aren't any ledges for them to use to swing past! However, much to my shock and amazement, an alien walks out of the farmhouse. Yes, you heard that correctly. An alien walks out of the farmhouse. The alien speaks, "Evil Earthlings, that accidental blow on my head restored my memory. Accidental? The guy shoved you into that thing. By mental command, I have resumed my normal appearance." Yes, it turns out that the alien is in fact the amnesia patient, who had forgotten that he was an alien. How dramatically convenient. As the cacti begin launching their needles, the alien uses a ray gun to shoot the plants and disintegrate them. Where was he hiding that thing when he was under human disguise, and why didn't the police find it when they searched him? Robin, speaking for the audience, exclaims, "What? So that's the answer!" Personally, I thought the answer was Reykjavik, but I guess that's why I'm not the master detective. Captain Tweed pulls out a gun, hoping to finish the alien, but Batman tosses a batarang, knocking the gun out of his hand. He then summarily punches the crooks, despite them being like 30 feet away and behind some rocks in the previous panels, and quips, "Now to plant a couple of fists, where they'll do the most good. Get it?" Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce, but you just don't have the same comic timing as Uma Thurman.
Sorry, my vines have a crush on you.
Later, after the robbers have been tied up, the alien explains that he's a scientific farmer who came to Earth to test if his plants would grow in Earth's atmosphere and soil. One must wonder why exactly this alien felt the need to see if his plants would grow on Earth. Furthermore, one must wonder why he felt the need to test if his exploding gas plants and killer cacti from outer space needed to grow on Earth. Seems like an interesting question, doesn't it, Batman? Of course, this invasion plan was averted because the sudden growth of the alien's plants caused one of the branches to sock him in the head and cause amnesia. So not only is he kind of a ditzy scientist for not seeing the tree branch coming, but his species must be really wimpy to receive amnesia after just a little bump on the noggin. The robbers explained that they were hidden in the barn, for undisclosed reasons, and saw the alien growing his plants. They took all the materials when the alien wandered off from his amnesia. The alien retrieved his ship from a cavern and says goodbye to the Dark Knight. "Farewell, Batman. I'm sorry my plants caused so much trouble." Batman's response after meeting an alien, catching crooks, fighting mutant alien cacti, and swinging around on his bat rope? "On the contrary, without your help we might not have harvested this fine crop for the state prison." Oh, tune in next week for more of losers in flying rodent costumes. I can't wait for Grant Morrison to resurrect this alien just so we can see the rest of this invasion plan. The action resumes in the second tale of the book, Secret of Mystery Island. Is there a committee or something that names these places? And if there is, could they get a frickin' thesaurus? Anyway, like the first story, we have a full-page spread that features a scene that no doubt will be featured again later within it, so what's the point? In this case, it depicts Batman fighting some random thug on what looks like a Buddha statue that's been turned sideways. The narrating caption explains, "Of all the hobbies, Briggs was probably the strangest because he collected buildings." I don't know, someone want to explain the appeal of MySpace and Facebook? Then, amid these structures began a perilous manhunt and a treasure hunt, which finally ended when Batman and Robin deciphered the strange clue that revealed the secret of Mystery Island. Well, thanks for spoiling the plot, you idiot! Anyway, the actual story opens with a millionaire on his deathbed. He's talking to a guy who looks exactly the same as Super Tweed from the previous story, only here he's named Catlin and his mustache is only slightly thinner, making him look like some nefarious Vincent Price. Catlin talks to the dying millionaire about how it's unfair that the treasure and the secret of it should die along with him. The millionaire, seeing the logic of this, hands him the key to a safe that'll contain a letter that has further instructions. Okay, if he needed to be talked into giving this treasure over to his men, why did he have a letter explaining how to get to the treasure hidden in a safe? Methinks this plot has many holes. Anyway, Batwimp and Robin, the ineffectual weenie, are watching from a balcony as Catlin runs from the millionaire's room. Said millionaire is in fact the Briggs from the introductory text, and Batman reveals that Briggs' association with Catlin proves that he was really the head of a criminal gang. Because as we all know, guilt by association is an arrestable offense in whatever state Gotham is in. Anyway, they overheard the conversation and suspect that the treasure is stolen goods, so they give chase. Apparently said chase causes the night from the previous panel to become day as they arrive at an island via Batplane. See what I meant earlier about panels just skipping willy-nilly from one event to the next? On the island itself, the two heroes discover that in a meadow there are several different kinds of buildings. Indeed, as the introduction completely spoiled, Briggs had been collecting these buildings, although for reasons that are completely unclear to me. Included in this are what appear to be a mosque, a Chinese pagoda, a Spanish villa, an ancient Greek temple, a Danish windmill, and an Egyptian pyramid. So remember how international stereotypes used to be really, really insulting in TV and comics when it came to just people? Well, now you've got building stereotypes to go on. Way to be progressive, Batman writers. Soon we'll just have stereotyped food to go on. Anyway, the two spot Catelyn heading into the Spanish villa and continue to chase him. Catelyn, now wearing a blue suit, but still with the same hat, gets the letter out of a safe in said villa. There, more goons show up, revealing that they think that Catelyn's planning on betraying them. Catelyn convinces them that he's going to split the money with them and reveals the instructions on the letter. A series of clues will lead you to the treasure. The first clue is in the Norman Inn. A twist will reveal the second clue to you. I'm guessing the twist is that the Catelyn we've been following is really a clone of the one from the Alien Plant story made by the Jackal. Catelyn notices Batman's reflection in a silver plate on the wall and whispers to the others his location. The three goons push the sideboard in, crushing Batman and Robin behind it. Instead of doing the logical thing and, killing them, they instead tie the two to some marble pillars while they go off in search of the treasure. Now comes a nicely hilarious bit. Batman notices a shawl nearby that's conveniently hanging on a banister and within reach of his legs. He turns himself and grabs the shawl with his legs, then whips it over to a, yes, very conveniently placed fountain, where the shawl soaks up the water. He then slides down the pillar, since it's only his wrists that are bound, and wettens the straps on him. Now, here's what he actually says to explain it. Now I'll squeeze the water out to soak the thongs, because leather stretches when wet. I'll soon be able to slip out of the thongs and free Robin. That part is just for those of you who never thought they'd ever get to hear Batman say, I'll soon be able to slip out of the leather thongs outside of very select parts of the internet. Oh, and subsequently, the ambiguously gay duo. The two head into the Norman Inn, and Batman reasons, somehow, that the twist mentioned in the letter refers to twisting a nearby wine barrel spigot. Frankly, I think the twist would have been better if it was revealed that Catelyn had gone insane and murdered travelers to the inn while dressed up as his dead elderly mother. Instead, the twist turns out to be a secret panel that opens up. The other two goons emerge from it, revealing that Catelyn betrayed them. They aim their guns at the two, saying they'll kill them before taking care of Catelyn, but Batman quickly knocks the wine barrel into the gunman. Robin, displaying all the humor that he'd later show when portrayed by Burt Ward, slides across a countertop that has mysteriously appeared and tackles the other goon, yelling, I guess you'd call this a counterattack. I guess I'd call that a really stupid joke. After somehow dealing with the goons, Batman reads a new clue on a wall. The God of Thieves points to the next clue. Reasoning that the God of Thieves refers to the Roman god Mercury, the two head over to the Roman temple. Now, a quick Wikipedia search showed that the thing resembled a Greek temple and not the Roman one, but I concede I might be wrong about it, and it's just I can't tell one column from another. Still, I'm calling it Greek since otherwise this aside is pointless. Seeing the statue of Mercury in the temple pointing towards the balustrade, the two head up to discover another clue. The clue reads, the right spot of the leopard-like beast is the next spot to seek. Why the heck did Briggs go to all this trouble in the first place? If he was going to give the treasure to his cronies anyway, why go through all this horse hockey instead of writing down its ultimate location and giving it to Catelyn? Anyway, Batman reasons that the clue refers to a cheetah or a jaguar, and since jaguars were sacred to the ancient Mayans, they should head to the Mayan temple next. Batman, not being the awesome ninja that he is in modern times, is completely taken by surprise as Catelyn suddenly leaps out from nowhere and pushes him over the edge of the balustrade. Catelyn then promptly socks Robin, hooray for child abuse, and starts to run. As Batman falls, he reaches out toward the statue of Mercury and promptly gets his arms ripped off from the fall. Okay, not really, but one would hope. Anywho, he and Robin run towards the previously unseen Mayan temple. Okay, so Briggs was collecting rare and ancient buildings too? How the hell did someone miss that? And touches all the spots on a jaguar statue. Once he finds a correct one, another clue appears. Look into the eyes of Buddha for happiness and the treasure. Of course, to make the stereotypes complete, it turns out that giant Buddha statue from the introductory page is in the Chinese temple. Batman comes in shortly after Catelyn arrives and promptly punches him out. Sadly, the story is not quite over yet since we still need to see the treasure. Catelyn is mad because he looked into the Buddha's eye and saw nothing. Batman looks himself and discovers a reflection of the opposite wall, which has a painting of a bat on it. Or at least it's supposed to be a bat, it looks like a purple doily to me. Looking behind the wall, the group finds paintings that had been stolen from the Louvre, as well as some action star humming swinging on a star. So besides for it being a huge tourist trap, why the hell was this place called Mystery Island? You'd find more complex mysteries on the back of cereal cartons. Now, admittedly, you don't expect to see Watchmen and Silver Age stories. And you know what? I love that cracky goodness of aliens suddenly appearing in modern stories and having weird plants like that. But even then, it has to be tempered by the kinds of stories they appear in. In Blue Beetle, aliens arriving is cool. In Batman, it's just out of place. And I don't even talk about the Bat Baby thing in this recap. As such, follow the link at the end to read that one, because Bat Baby deserves a video of its own. This comic is just stupid. Go out and read Hush or Nightfall instead.